If you were blind, how would you ask for a toothbrush? If you were blind, how would you ask for a pencil? If you were blind, how would you ask for food? If you were blind, how would you ask for a drink? I asked if you were blind.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm doing all the hand motions.
Really?
Yes.
You're blind.
I know.
What does blind mean?
I can't see.
You can't see.
Right.
So why are you giving me hand motions?
How else am I supposed to communicate with you?
What do you mean? You're blind, not deaf.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hello there, my friend. How are you today?
I am well there, Tay. How
Good,
you
man.
doing?
Good, not too bad. It's been a minute. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Sunset Rants, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Pleasure to be.
appreciate you having you. Sure. For everybody, we're gonna be having some few people jumping in and out till we get figured out. D took a little hiatus for a little while, but hopefully she'll be back at some point. But till then, it'll just be me and whoever else comes through. So we should still have fun, hopefully. But welcome to the Tuesday edition of Sunset Rants. Catch you up to speed for everything that's going on that you'll miss at work, and give you guys our opinions, whether me or anyone else is drunk or sober. But hopefully they're all fun, and you get to enjoy yourself and learn some stuff along the way. For those first time seeing Scrap, this is the man, the myth, and the legend. Scrap, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Skrappjaw everywhere. I'm a co-host for the Rise of Middle America podcast with our favorite guy, AK, on Friday nights.
Perfect. How you been since the last time we had a little show together?
I've been good. Life's busy.
Yeah.
Things are getting done.
Oh,
I changed my setup a little bit in here and put a new desk together. You guys can't see how pretty the desk is on that side of the camera, but I can see it, and it feels good for me. I still haven't tackled the cluttered mess of the mantle back here, but
it still looks good though.
maybe I'll kill me a nice big deer this year and replace that one. That would be nice.
And you could use it's like a 12 point. You can use like the antlers as guitar holders.
Dude, hunting season is in, and I'm so ready for it to cool down enough so that way when I go kill one, I can hang it up, and don't have to worry about the warm weather, because you gotta let them sit, and the meat has to kind of rest for a few days for that gaminess to come out. Then you can cut it up and process and all that.
I had no idea about that. Just got a wrinkle on my brain.
That's where my mindset's been lately. How about you? What you been into?
Let's see, not too much. Just started new work and just like little things here and there. It's nothing like anything to report to.
Fair enough. No news is good news sometimes,
Yeah, sometimes nothing new is okay. Sometimes no news is good news. But before we just jump right into it, I know we didn't get to put it on our thing, but did you end up watching the medal, the Presidential Medal of Freedom with Trump today for Charlie Kirk's birthday and Charlie's birthday.
I missed out on that. I did hear about it though.
Oh, it was very nice. It was nice. You know, if anyone has not watched it, I implore you to. You know, it was it was Trump talking, so you know how that is, but also his wife was able to talk in front of everybody, you know, in front of like the world, if you would. No, it was very sweet. It was moving. I liked it a lot.
I'll have to go watch the recap of it. I'd be interested to see what Melania has to say because we've heard Erica, give her a couple of, addresses to the public and whatnot, and they've got their own TPUSA's got their own version of the Super Bowl halftime that they're putting together also, and I'm kind of disappointed in it being Kid Rock, but they could have got Creed and Skillet and they dropped the ball. Just saying.
No, I really haven't been following that part too much as far as like the Super Bowl. Like I know what's going on, but like I've just been reading like the footnotes. So it's just like, it's more drama. I got some other stuff I could worry about until February. But that being said, let's jump into this first one coming by NBC News. So this one is man pleads guilty in arson attack on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence. Is this the one that just happened like 2 weeks ago or something?
Was it the one that was like no, this isn't the beachfront one that happened. Not that. This was from way back. It says this guy was charged in April.
Okay. So the man charged in the April arson attack on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence was sentenced Tuesday to decades in prison after pleading guilty to several charges. Decades. Holy shit. Well, I mean, it's arson, so fuck him. Cody A. Balmer, 38, pleaded guilty to attempted murder, aggravated arson, 22 counts of arson, burglary, and other offenses. Holy shit. Like, decades might be an understatement. Other offenses, according to Dauphin County District Attorney's Office. Under the plea deal, he was sentenced to 25 to 50 years in state prison, the District Attorney's Office said in a statement. Prosecutors accused Balmer of breaking into the governor's residence in Harrisburg and setting it on fire April 13th. The second day of Passover. Shapiro is Jewish, was having Passover Seder at the home the night before the attack, according to officials. Holy shit. What a nasty person. Security video released by the district's attorney office appears to show Balmer climbing the property's fence, approaching the home, breaking one of the windows with a sledgehammer. That's a little extreme. I mean, so is burning someone's fucking house down. Balmer threw a Molotov cocktail inside, setting the house ablaze, officials said in a news release. The video then appears to show Balmer breaking a second window and entering the home. Once inside, Balmer began striking at two doors, including a door that led where the governor's family and guests slept, but did not break through. Holy shit. Can you imagine? Like, he tried to, like...
He was going after him.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's terrifying. Your house is in an inferno, and it's during, like, a very religious time, and you have someone trying to break your door down with a sledgehammer. That's like some horror movie shit. The Democratic governor, First Lady Lori Shapiro, 3 of their children, 15 overnight guests, including other members of the governor's family, and 2 Pennsylvania State Police troopers were all inside the home. Wow, this guy didn't think shit through. When the fire erupted early morning, according to the district attorney's office, all were safely evacuated. That's good. It's hard for me to stand before you today and utter the words attempted murder when it's your own family. To know that someone tried to kill me, Shapiro said in a news conference Tuesday at the Pennsylvania State Capitol complex, standing beside his wife. Shapiro said that he struggled over the last 6 months to try to make sense of it all and explains the incident to his children. I carry this nor sense of guilt that doing this job that I love so much has put our children's lives at risk. That's insane, dude.
There were people in there.
A lot of fucking
people. Troopers were like 15 people in this place. Holy mackerel. Wow.
I'm surprised that they didn't put him down for a hate crime. I'm sure he might have been a part of the stuff.
Dude,
but
this
it's just
is
probably
insane.
the evidence just didn't hit on it.
Yeah, and I don't care what this guy's political affiliation is because we're starting to see a lot of division on the right when it comes to Israel stuff and Jews and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's off both sides at this point. That's the one topic where we can definitely say both sides. It's not asymmetrical. Maybe it might be a little asymmetrical
I mean, it's definitely
because
biased, but it's
it's
starting
there's
to happen.
yeah, but like the Jews have been the political football of ethnicities for the Democrats and the Republicans for a very long time. They're both white and not white at the same time, you know, and for different reasons, which is stupid. But this is awful. At least they got the guy. He turned himself in, and nobody was injured in that. But we gotta knock this off. We gotta knock this stuff off, guys.
Yeah, and you know what's I find surprising though there was the 15 plus people was it 15, 18, 21 people inside the house. I mean, good for him if he has a house that can guest 21 people, but the fact that no one in the house was like he turned himself in, you know, I find that kind of you know eyebrow raising to it. But like you're saying, the fact that this is even happening, and like Jewish people are just being people are just people. Like just give it a religion doesn't make you a bad person. Like now, if you're like in some kind of like culty stuff, like me and D talk, okay, there might be some guilty by association if you start practicing into it. But if you're just there, just dwelling, not doing anything to anybody, like what the fuck? It's disgusting that people just act like this.
Yeah, but I mean, this is before the
Yeah,
Charlie Kirk assassination, and it's not the only. It's not some isolated incident of political violence in the last. I mean, in the last 10 years, it's been up and up and up and up. It's getting bad, but I hope I hope that some of the stuff tamps down. But I keep fearing that things will get worse before they get better. Unfortunately,
yeah, but when is that going to happen? If it
I,
does happen, because it could be like, remember when you were a kid and like you come on Friday night, order some pizza, jump on Xbox Live, play like Mech Assault or Halo with your buddies, or if you did Counter Strike with your boys on your PC or anything like that, and then eventually just stop. You didn't know that was like the good old days.
what what one day we logged out not knowing it was our last.
I'm about to cry. I remember that day.
Yeah, like there are days going past that's like,
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the people dying is good. No, whatever the inverse to it, but it's like, when is it going to happen? You don't know, like, if this is the lull. You know, it just it's just becoming more known, like all the time, all the time. Like before, like I'm sure a lot of people didn't know too much about this. If not, it was just passed over. And then once those other elected officials they got murdered, then that started raising eyebrows. And then when Alex Jones, his guy, got carjacked, if you would, and then someone else the next day, like that stuff really didn't get too much attention. Now, when Charlie passed, like what was it, like 5 weeks ago? Like that's when everyone started noticing and everyone started doing it because now it's all clickbaity. Now people are going to start seeing like all the divisiveness, at least in my opinion, and it's going to start. Both sides are going to start reporting it even more than just letting it go or not reporting it on the other side. So it's almost like we'll see one thing and they see the other, but no one sees it together.
I'm just hoping that people get fatigued enough with it that we have enough people in the middle that have enough. That we push the crazies on the left end out, and we let any of them go the way of the dodo, or that we end up, because we've gone through political unrest in this country before when it comes to extremists and riots and things.
Mm-hmm.
Back in this, I mean, there was the 60s had their, 68, that there was big riots there. There were riots in, I think there were small ones through the 70s. There were pocketed protests that popped off. And then not really much through the 80s that I can remember as far as history is concerned, because, I wasn't born then. I'm an 87
Yeah.
myself. But the 90s, I think the Rodney King stuff was the last time we had what it was like in the DNC national convention, their national convention, um, when they hired Rage Against the Machine to be the entertainment. They definitely, I mean,
Yeah.
you're asking for it at that point.
Yeah, that's like rise ups, like stick it to the man and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then we ended up a decade later to another 20 years. It took another 20 years until we ended up with 2020. 30 years. Almost 30 years had to go by before we hit another cycle of political unrest and violence, right? Even though Occupy Wall Street wasn't terrible. It was actually the definition of mostly peaceful. Like, I don't remember anything from Occupy that was horrible.
No,
I was
just
too
like
poor to care, honestly. I didn't know. I
it's
was
more
just
of a
out here.
nuisance than anything, but it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't anything bad, like by any means.
No, but now it's coming to a head, and I'm just hoping that the current administration is able to deliver on enough of their promises in order to keep the momentum going and take care of the lawlessness. I think that if we can get it in our heads in this country that lawlessness is not acceptable, we can put people behind bars and put a boot on the necks that deserve it. It sounds a little crazy to put a boot on somebody's neck, but let's just be what it is, right? Like they're attacking ICE facilities. There are
cop cars, the presidents,
cop cars. We're shooting at
they're shooting
people.
prisoners.
We have lots of stuff going on in our big cities right now. Every day, every night, there's something going on. And right now, with the shutdown and the No Kings and all of that, lots of stuff is going on. And people will either get tired of it and get fatigued enough to just Trump take care of it, or somebody take care of it. And that's how a lot of these things go in other countries, where like the law enforcement and the military take control. But we're like 50 countries. And so this has to happen across 50 states, or at least the ones that are the worst.
Yeah.
It's we have a different dynamic here in the States. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully we don't see any more of this kind of stuff, or even, things that are on a local level. Because that's my biggest fear, is that we'll start to see people targeting their neighbors. And right now it's the big players, right? It's mobs in big cities and politicians. And it's like, I'm not trying to downplay that. That's horrifying that people are dying anyway or being attacked. But when it goes into small town, neighbor to neighbor kind of stuff, that's when it's too far.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's put a pin in that one for now and head on to the next one. How's that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, this is the thing that's where the presidency is taken care of down in Venezuela, and the narco traffickers.
Trump says let's kill 6 narco terrorists off Venezuela drugs. The latest vote. Jesus Christ.
Boom. It's like, yeah, that's on an IR. That's why it's so bright. Wow.
That's nuts. It's like, I'm alive. No, I'm dead. So
Can you imagine?
Huh?
Go ahead, man.
I was gonna read, unless you want to read.
I'll take this one.
All right.
So out of Washington, this is USA Today. President Donald Trump on October 14th said his administration carried out another military strike on a vessel carrying illegal narcotics off the coast of Venezuela in what marks the 5th such attack in the Caribbean since September. Trump said 6 male narco terrorists aboard the boat were killed in the hit, which Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered at the president's command. In a post on X, Trump shared a video showing a target on a boat at sea that ends with a fiery explosion. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was trafficking narcotics and was associated with illicit narco-terrorist networks and was transiting along a known drug trafficking organization route. Strike was conducted in international waters, and 6 male narco-terrorists aboard the vessel were killed in the strike. No U.S. forces were harmed.
I mean, I'm assuming that they can tell there were 6 people, because that kind of explosion, you're not going to be able to tell. But
they probably know how many people were on the boat from the beginning. Intel is going to be like, "Yep, they're on the water. We got them," and then they just let them get into international waters. I saw a post earlier that was talking about the means of which they're doing these operations. They're using AC-130 gunships. They're the Ghost Rider.
Oh, they're using those.
Variety. The Ghost Riders have a laser guided missile system on the wings, like a bomb.
Yeah.
And then they've got the camera turrets positioned all along. There's a handful of variants of the C-130 gunships. They're awesome.
They're devastating.
And they can fly high and they can target whatever. You don't even know they're up there.
I've got enough kill streaks to know that was my favorite one.
It caught. Yeah.
No, but it's saying that this was the 4 previous attacks. So this was the 5th one. So far, it's a tally of 21 prior. And they're doing fentanyl and cocaine.
Yeah.
So it's just wild that they're still doing it, knowing that if they're going out, it's happening. And then also knowing that our Navy and our forces are right there on the coast right now of Venezuela.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. And this is the tinfoil in me. I think AK and I did a show a while back. I think it was last year. We did at least one episode where we talked about the drug war. Domestically, the drug war, we know the drug war started with the CIA trying to fund things in its black projects that Congress wasn't going to give them.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so Bush Sr. decides he wants to go and do it anyway. And he figures, well, I'm going to run the drugs, basically, allegedly. Right.
Is the movie Blow based off of the whole thing?
Probably. I haven't seen that one. It's been actually, I may have seen it at a party sometime, but a lot of those kinds of movies that are in like gangster, cult film, drug culture, I was already, to the wind myself and only got to watch bits and pieces of. Mm-hmm. Got to watch Pulp Fiction again sober in the last few years, and I wondered why I had watched it in the first place. I was like, wow, this is a very well done piece of film, but it's like hard to watch when you're like, oh, the graphic nature of it. It's like it's something that I've learned to be repulsed by in a healthy way. But yeah, like this drug war thing, and just seeing pictures of boats from cameras with there's nobody out there to verify, right? It's just the government posting pictures, posting videos. We have it's like a trust me bro thing. Hey, we're doing something. Like
it could be fishermen, or it just could be just an RC boat with some prisons.
They could put warm blow up dolls on it. They could hit up an Amazon adult section and just fill that boat, put it out somewhere and pop it. I'm not saying it is fake. I'm just saying there's no way to verify what it is. And they're just consistently posting these. Cool. If it's true and they're taking out these guys, it's in international waters. If they're going to fight a drug war, fight it not on our streets. Quit busting your average Joe who, might be into his own thing. It's a sad thing to be, an addict or using things and self-medicating. But the people that are funneling this into the country are doing it to intentionally harm our society.
Yeah.
People are, yeah. So Yeah. What are your
I do
thoughts
believe,
on
like
that?
at a point, it's not even for them, like, or at least the people on the upper part of the deck, like down south. Like, I do feel exactly what you're saying. But like back in Venezuela, like they're doing it for the money because like these people have no money, like at all. Like it's their dollar is worth like a penny. It's
Well,
bad.
they've totally imploded their economy, and
Yeah.
it's sad. Bring that chat back up. I want to read some of that comment out here. I want to make sure I get it right. Fluffy Hobo Show. For once, my tax dollars are actually being used in a good way. Oh no, the CIA can't get their coke easily anymore. Anyways. Oh wait, that's a Top Gear. That's the Top Gear meme. Oh no, the CIA can't get the coke easily anymore. Anyways.
Anyways, going right back into like
Microwave blow up Betty. I didn't need that in my head. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyways,
anyways,
they're blowing stuff up in the ocean with cool planes at the very least.
yeah,
So,
like you said, like for once my tax dollars are actually being used in a good way. I like watching that stuff. I mean, not snuff videos, but I mean, just watching cool. But I mean, if it is real, cool. We're doing something. Like if they're just lying to us about it, it's kind of surprising why they would be lying to us about it. Because like, how many times have we had operations of something similar to where it's just like we don't know, or there's almost like nothing being reported on it or said by like our government, to where it's just like it's a nothing burger at the end.
right. And maybe they're posting it ahead of any other country that maybe wants to frame it as, United States attacking civilian or like, legitimate sanctioned vessels,
Yeah.
and because these are small boats and it's not very far to get to Puerto Rico and Haiti and all of that. It's within a very short distance right there off the northern part of South America. Venezuela is right there. So, for the geographically challenged, it's not far. So, all right.
On to
What's
the
next?
All right, so this one's coming from Nipper. And so military seizes power in Madagascar following anti-government protests.
Hold on, is it penguins? If it's penguins, I'm all good with it. Wait,
It's the Fusa.
Fusa.
I think I'm going to watch that movie after this.
Oh, man.
The Fusa. Johannesburg, South Africa. The army of Madagascar seized power on Tuesday after the president went into hiding, saying he feared for his life after several weeks of massive anti-government protests. I can only imagine why. Colonel Michael from elite military unit CAPSAT announced the army was in control of the African island nation and would establish a committee composed of army and police brass. I don't know how that's going to turn out. He said that they would then set up a civilian government quickly, but we know how that usually turns out. But maybe they're telling the truth. His statement came out just minutes after members of parliament had voted to impeach President Andre Rajoelina. I can't pronounce any of his names. For banning his post after he was believed to have fled the country over the weekend. On Monday, what is this? On Monday, Rajoelina broadcast an address on social media saying he was in hiding in an undisclosed location. The impeachment vote, which garnered 130 yes votes and one blank ballot, holy shit, went ahead even though Rajoelina took steps the same day to prevent it by dissolving the lower house parliament. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, he was fucked either way. After the army announced they'd taken control of a statement posted to the official Facebook page of the Madagascar presidency, denounced what it called a coup d'etat and insisted Rajoelina remained in charge. So I really don't know too much about this power struggle going on over there. Do you know anything?
It from what I've heard in this next paragraph here, I think it explains a bit of this. There was another recent country in in South Asia. What was it? Which one was that? Was it Kathmandu or somewhere in the Himalayas? It was a country that
Oh,
basically
Nepal.
Nepal. That was close. Nepal went under, and basically it was a color revolution, from what I understand. And they tried to shut down the internet there, and it just made things worse. People went out in the streets, and yeah, it all went south there in Nepal. Just
Yeah,
just generally that region between around Nepal, Kathmandu, all of that, they're generally like non, confrontational and political within those regions. And maybe that's why they got toppled. Maybe they were just standing in the way of something. I don't know. I have to look more into that.
yeah. So, because I do remember seeing stuff like it was like there was like a probably like a day or two where it was just everything that was on my feed was like complete riots, and like there would just be like this white guy with a camera just like recording this, and they'll be in the middle of like a city square, and then the Capitol was just a complete inferno, black smoke billowing out from everything, like massive. It wasn't just like little, like it was an entire inferno, and people were running everywhere, and the guy's just like in one of like the zombie movies where like what's happening and everyone's running around in like chaos. That was the video. And yeah, so what they did was they tried to take away like shut down I think all their social media, and if not all the internet completely. Kind of like what they did in Afghanistan a couple of weeks ago. Was it? I think it was Afghanistan. Yeah, but
Well,
and
let's
people like nah.
right. Let's read the last part of
Okay,
this article here on these Gen Z protests. It says
okay.
Madagascar's youth took to the streets of the capital, Antananarivo, in so-called Gen Z protests last month, demanding Rolina resign amid anger over the water and electricity shortages crippling the country. NPR spoke to protesters who said they hadn't had water out of the taps in 6 years, despite still paying for it.
Holy shit.
The CAPSAT military unit announced they had sided with the protesters and would not move to quash demonstrators, calling them our brothers and sisters. And he flees, and then it's the former French colony, and so okay, now they're starting to make some sense with some of this here. Okay, so it seems like Raulina came into power himself in 2009 through a coup with the help of the same military that just unseated him. Huh? Imagine that. He ran for election twice and won, and the Madagascans have since soured on the 51-year-old leader, however, blaming his government for poor service delivery and corruption in the impoverished country of some 31 million people. Yeah, so, and I
Lovely.
noticed that this report comes out of Johannesburg, South Africa. It sounds just like South Africa in many ways. Corruption, the within the utilities companies, within the government, not keeping infrastructure up to date, things just generally falling apart. It's not good, especially. And what's sad is these countries in Africa around the coastlines in hundreds of years ago, there are times when they were profitable, when they yes, okay, under colonialism. However, a lot of those natives there didn't they lived fairly modern. We'll put it that way. Regardless of what a lot of the modern anti-colonialist Gen Z blah blah blahs want to say, those were fairly Christianized populations of native population, and you
Yeah,
will find
boomed in Africa.
through the old slave trade, the triangle, the trade triangle, and all of those times. The leaders there spoke out against all of that, saying, "Look, you guys got to quit trading goods for people. You're hurting us. You're hurting our population. You're hurting our countries." And so colonialism, eventually, once it got thrown off, if you want to call it that, and these countries became their own thing, they I mean, Haiti is an example where they had a violent revolution. I don't know how violent some of the revolutions were in some of these coastal African countries, but they have had revolution after revolution, turmoil and turmoil. And it's and the farther deeper into Africa you go, you end up with a lot of Christian persecution, mass killings, that kind of stuff. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough around all of the in those, especially in places that are like Madagascar or South Africa and whatnot. They're not doing well, and what you see is a lot of it is turning against Western influence. It's moving towards China, towards Russia. China's deeply, heavily invested. They don't care what kind of culture you have in your country, as long as you're doing business with them and it's strategically, you know, cool for them. They don't care if you're repressing Christians, because Christians bring order and truth and those kinds of things, generally speaking, right? Whereas, you know, China has a clampdown on even their own Christian population. It's
Like the
very
Uyghurs.
hard, unless you're a part of the Catholic Church or the state church, which honestly, the CCP runs the Catholic churches in China. You can't be a regular Christian there.
No,
You
not
know,
at all.
so I'd be curious to see how much of the corruption and how much involvement with China there is. I mean, we're reading NPR, which is arguably national propaganda radio. So who knows how much they're not telling us on this one.
Yeah,
But
and but there is a good chance though, like they could actually be reporting like the right stuff. But what it comes down to is like it's the nuance of what's happening down there. If someone says we've been paying for water and they have not received water for what, 6 years,
mhm.
that's one thing. But maybe it's just that one part. Other people are just like, oh, this guy's just a doucher. But I want to see what's going to happen to this guy, like if they're going to drag him by the streets, like drag his body through the streets, literally,
Well, if
or if
he got out in a plane, went to France. I mean, that's the alleged thing in the article, right? Is he left in a French plane or whatever, or he's in an undisclosed location. He's not going back.
no,
No. So,
excuse me, I got the hiccups. So let's go to
well,
the next one.
I hope it turns out well for the people of Madagascar.
I
Honestly,
hope so too, man. I want the best for everybody.
I want the
Like
penguins back. Bring back the penguins.
you want this one?
Next. No, you go ahead.
Okay. So this one's from CBS. So Mississippi mass shooting that left 6 people dead. FBI says 5 people have been arrested in connection with a weekend shooting that left 6 people dead and more than a dozen injured in a small Mississippi town, officials said. Tavion L. Powell, 29, William Bryant, 29, Morgan Lattimore, 25, have been charged with capital murder, while Latoya A. Powell, 44, has been charged with attempted murder in a mass shooting. A spokesperson for the FBI's Jackson Field office confirmed CBS News on Monday. 5th person was arrested Tuesday, according to Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, but he did not provide any additional information. It was not immediately clear whether the suspects have attorneys. The Associated Press left a voicemail with the Washington County Public Defender's Office asking if its attorneys are representing defendants. Other arrests are pending as the investigation continues, spokesperson says, urging anyone with information about the shooting in a rural Northwest Delta region to report tips to the FBI. Let's see why it happened. The shooting happened early Saturday morning and came as people celebrated homecoming weekend in downtown Leland shortly after a high school football game. And it was the deadliest of several shootings across Mississippi over the weekend. There was more shootings over the weekend. Holy fuck. Another shooting left 2 people dead in Heidelberg High School on Saturday. It also occurred during a homecoming game. Other shootings were reported at 2 Mississippi universities on Saturday as those schools celebrated their homecoming weekends. Authorities have not disclosed a possible motive for Friday night's shooting, but the FBI said the gunfire appears to have been sparked by a disagreement among several individuals. I mean, that kind of is the obvious there, at least for the most part. 4 of the victims died at the scene, where abandoned shoes were left and bloodstained the pavement of a downtown street the following day. Witness Camish Hopkins described seeing people wounded and bleeding, 4 people dead on the ground. It was the most horrific scene I've ever seen, Hopkins told the AP. That is atrocious. No one deserves to see that. Like, ever. It's Terrific. The shooting in Leland was the 14th mass killing in 2025, according to Associated Press, USA Today, Northwestern University Mass Killing Database. Database tracks all homicides in the U.S. since 2006, which 4 or more people were killed intentionally within a 24-hour period, not including any offender. Elsewhere in the small town of Heidelberg on the east side of the state, the bodies of 2 people, including a pregnant woman, holy fuck, found on a high school campus Friday. Shooting happened the same evening. Heidelberg school played its homecoming football game, according to police. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves said, police have not said exactly when the gunfire occurred or how close it was to the stadium. 18-year-old charged with 2 counts of murder, illegally having a gun on school campus, and Heidelberg shooting. Jasper County jail records show Heidelberg, a town of about 640 residents. That is tiny. To have all of that, that is a small fucking town.
Yeah.
That's a microscopic town. Let's see, Claiborne County, Mississippi Bureau of Investigation said one of the victims died, as you said. Police found the victims after a call reporting shots fired in the area of the Industrial Technology Building. No arrests were announced. Does it say why? The shooting happened after the crowd of more than 7,000 watched Alcorn State defeat Lincoln University of Oakland, California, in a Mississippi school homecoming game on Saturday afternoon. Jackson police responded around 7 p.m. to a tailgating area, Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, where Jackson State University hosted Alabama State University. June had been shot, and the abdomen was taken to the hospital. No arrests were announced. So, do you think it's just like? Do you think it's like gang related, or if it's just like, oh hey, let's all go do this, or is it just like a bunch of like shitheads with illegal guns?
Well,
They're shitheads either way.
yeah. Here's the thing: is local news reporting it. I see a bunch of local news reporting on it when I go through X, and I also see a handful of other games where homecomings and stuff over the weekend had similar incident, shootings and attacks. Are they all connected? I don't know, but it's one of those things where it's like the race thing in our country is not solved, right? And I see it go. At least the conversation is happening out there, and the unfortunate thing is, in one of these shootings, black girl lost her life too, right? So some people are trying to make it out to be like, oh, the media is ignoring it because it's a bunch of black guys and I think there was actually a chick in there, Latoya, right? I saw one post on it's like some people want to make it out to be that, and it's like if there is a component of that, we should be able to have that conversation. But unfortunately, the media probably isn't talking about these things because it's not the narrative they want, because it's not race baiting, right? It's a thing where then they're probably feeling like, oh, we don't want to give the white supremacists and them anything to throw out there. But then it's like, no, but now you're not talking about an issue that might be within a certain community. There might be some kind of hatred harbored there within certain subgroups of them, which is unfortunate, right? So so what it is they're burying the story, and because they can't turn it into a gun narrative, right? Unless like in that article, there's no pictures of anybody, there's no mugshots or anything. New York Post had pictures from security cameras of it, or photos from something, whatever it was, given to the authorities to look for, hey, information on these people, but it's like, it just sucks that this is happening. It's being buried.
It's such an isolated thing. That's why I'm like,
but it's weird. It's not really isolated, because there was that one, and then there was a handful of other ones over the weekend, but they were all just buried for whatever reason. That's just me looking on X right now, just to see what was going on. I didn't hear anything about them. I didn't see anything I don't see any major news outlets like pushing it. I didn't see anything on Facebook. Generally, when something hits a national thing, I'll see it on my Facebook feed because then that's how I know like something that was local somewhere else went up and then made it back down into my local feed, right? I haven't seen anything on it.
Is it? Yeah, I've seen nothing.
No. So I
Yeah,
guess that's why we're talking about it, right? Because
yeah.
Madagascar's not in the news. This isn't in the news.
But also you also have the world thing with the Gaza. So people are gonna report on that because
Right.
the more views they have, the more money they get. Then they have so that's the
Yeah,
big thing.
let's complain about Trump brokering some kind of a peace deal negotiation with Gaza when the media has been out there going, "Oh no, it's a genocide." It's like it is what it is. They're the Hatfields and the McCoys of the Middle East. They've been at it forever. Okay?
Right?
It's
What
mostly
people
done
want
at
to
this
see.
point. So they're just not happy with anything. But it's like I said earlier, the Israel thing is the political football that the left and the right want to toss back and forth and go, "No, it's yours. You're the turd burglar." You know, whatever.
You're the third bird.
I don't know. I just threw something out there to break the tension on it. I
No,
hate
no,
this.
that's good.
It's sad that people feel the need to go out there and murder other people,
Yeah, it's rather.
especially at homecoming games. Like what? Why?
It's supposed to be like the fun night. It's supposed to be like the night of just innocence and partying and having a good time and celebrating.
I'd like to get back to the days where the Olympics, everybody went to peace. If they were at war, they stopped all wars, and they sent their top athletes and their warriors to go compete in non-lethal combat or non-lethal sports.
Yeah.
And then go back to whatever. Can we have another World War One soccer game? You know, like when they were in the trench warfare and like Christmas came, it wasn't completely the entire trench line, but it
I
was
know what you're
pockets
talking
of
about.
it. You know,
They
there
just
were
set the
some,
guns aside and they're like they went into the field and they said it's like, hey, let's make a truce. It's like, it's Christmas. I know. I think you make a great point to that. If
yeah,
it ever could happen again, I hope it does. Like people can at least have like some humanity, then put their pride aside. But
yeah.
let's
I think the big issue, I think the thing with that though was that you had people that actually knew each other sometimes on either side of those lines in Europe, and
but
that's
there
what some of those stories were. Like guys that were officers that had spent time in England, or England had spent time in Germany or whatever. And we're not talking about Nazis, we're talking about Prussia, right? That war. So Christians to some degree, right? But
mhm.
anyway, politics are messed up in the world, and it's sad people are dying. And what do we got? We got something that's like not engulfed in violence and stuff.
Something with flames though.
No,
SpaceX.
gonna go up in flames regardless. All right.
SpaceX is preparing the next gen Starship after successful flight test. SpaceX second generation Starship vehicle has just made a graceful exit. Sorry, I got this really tiny on the screen for some reason. The company achieved every major objective it set for the first heavy lift vehicle's 11th flight test, the second gen Starship's final flight, which launched from Starbase in Texas on October 13th. It followed another successful test in August, which saw Starship deploy its payload for the first time ever. I love that just it's getting progressively like more effective every time. For its two more recent flights, SpaceX suffered a series of failures. Starship exploded during its ascent stage in the company's seventh and eighth flights, and it failed to deploy its payload during the ninth. Another Starship vehicle blew up on the ground during the routine test while SpaceX was preparing for the 10th flight. All the vehicle's 33 Raptor engines ignited upon launch. I remember that. And the stage separation in the first stage ascent went smoothly. The Super Heavy booster splashed down into the ocean as planned, while Starship was able to deploy all its Starlink simulators before re-entering the atmosphere. That's fucking cool. During its re-entry burn, SpaceX intentionally stretched the vehicle to determine the capabilities of its heat shield. With just a few minutes left of the flight, the vehicle executed a banking maneuver to mimic the trajectory that future missions returning to Starbase will fly. The company says it will now focus on developing the next generation Starship and Super Heavy. It has multiple versions of the vehicle and the booster being prepared for tests at the moment and expects them to be used for the first Starship orbital flights and operational payload missions. Sorry if I read that terribly. Like, it's super tiny. I obviously don't have my glasses. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, dude. That's a. We were talking about this in the Discord earlier today. I was drinking my coffee, and we got one of our guys that's really like all in about SpaceX. He's a nerd on it.
Mhm.
And the cool thing about what Elon's done here is he's been able to set the standard for how this kind of research and development is to be done. We actually do the same thing in every other field of technology. Quick iterations, fail quick, fail often, learn fast. It's very expensive to do it at the scale he's doing it, but is it though? I mean, NASA has been doing simulators, spending bazillions of dollars on just programming and simulating in giant water tanks and near weightless flight and things, and you can get a lot of good data out of some things, when you're nose diving planes and up and behind the atmosphere with guys in the back of
Yeah.
a padded fuselage, and you can kind of get some things out of that, and you can kind of test underwater when you get your buoyancy right. But what you can't do is test this kind of stuff at this kind of interval and get a real world effect. You can simulate all you want, but Kerbal Space Program ain't cutting it. But
But here,
Bert, Brian in the chat here says supercomputers wouldn't exist without NASA contracts. I mean, that's a good point too. I mean, they really did push a lot of the technological stuff on that front forward. That is true. I'm sorry, what was that you were going to say?
no, you're right. Remember they would have like these giant computers, like size of like 2-story buildings, and it was like, oh yeah, it holds 6 kilobits.
That's all you'll ever need.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, as because you were mentioning something about the pricing and all this stuff. What how much money NASA spent. It was an insane amount more, apparently, from my understanding, more than what Elon has already put into this program. But this has become more successful as far as being able to develop it. Just cutting stuff. And that's one of the reasons why NASA, for years and years and years, was always under threat of just like, let's end it. It's not feasible anymore. But when you have
my sound's jacked up. I gotta redo my I can drop out real quick and be back.
Okay. That's funny he's doing that, because I was about to say I'm about to do the same thing. But yeah, so what I was saying.
Okay, I'll sit in. Never mind.
There we go.
Okay.
I just had to refresh my browser real quick.
It's funny. You were saying right when you left, I was just telling the team that
Like everything else was working. I'm sorry, I missed all that. I'll have to catch the replay.
you can't hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I was about to say I'm about to do the same thing right now.
Oh.
Give me 1 second. I'm be back.
All right, chat. What's the chat got up here? That and nuclear warhead simulations. Okay, so Rick was saying, as long as these crazy people exist, as long as there are people feeding into the false narratives, there'll be no peace. Yeah, I mean, there is that. Aaron says, and then there was one. And we do it live.
We do it live. I am just waiting on Taylor to come back in, and then I will gracefully exit.
I just had to hit F5 on the keyboard, and it was good. Yeah.
Is he still in Discord? No, he dropped Discord too. Okay.
Yeah, he's probably good. Oh, he's back
Oh.
here now.
He's back. Okay, then I.
Oh, you just switched to mobile. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this thing started crashing, so I was like, I gotta switch.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's a power drain happening. Like it's charged up on like a 45 watt, and it's just like it's been decreasing, like for the past hour. So I was like, if I don't do this, it's just gonna crash.
Right on. Well, at least we got down to the end of this with these articles here. You know, SpaceX, of all the things that are going wrong in the world, SpaceX is trying to find out how to leave this this rock
Mhm.
and making progress. You know, is one of the most difficult things to do. A lot of people don't understand how difficult it actually is to get a craft into orbit and then to control it in orbit. It's not like it's the difference between going from underwater to atmosphere is similar to going from atmosphere to no atmosphere, because you have a very thick medium when you're underwater, but when you bring a boat up out of the water, unless it's like a speedboat, we're not talking about those that fly off because they catch some wind and crash and burn, but a boat prop ain't doing nothing in the sky, right?
No.
But and planes or modern aircraft that breathe air, they need the air in order for the engines to work, for combustion. The only way to maneuver in space and to gain escape velocity is to bring your oxidizer with you, the oxygen, right? If you ever remember the triangle, right? You know, you need fire, you need fuel, heat,
And spark.
and
Fuel, spark, and ignition.
and oxygen. Fuel,
or something.
heat, and oxygen, right?
Yeah.
You need something to burn, and burning is an oxidization, as a matter of rapid oxidization, and then you need a heat source to ignite the two. It's air fuel mixture with a heat source, right? Rockets have to carry it for themselves, carry their own water, so to speak. You know, that's really what they have to do, and because in space there's nothing to push on, also, so the propulsion is that explosion that's happening out the back of the rocket engine to actually push the thing, and then they have to keep fuel for correcting their orientation in space, because there's no air for airfoils. The wings don't matter in space. These Starship, the little fins are only there to control somewhat while they're still in the Earth's atmosphere. That's why they're minimal. So it's a very difficult thing. You have to take your own fuel with you. It takes an extreme amount of fuel to get out to it, to get escape velocity. And so that's why they have the extra stages, all of that. And Elon is he's just doing very well with space. SpaceX is doing very well with each iteration of their craft.
Yeah, and the fact that they're purposely running the stuff to where if this stuff does crash, that's okay. Like we want it to fail before anything, so that's perfect.
And yeah, we don't want it. We don't want another challenge.
How far the next 10 years?
Sorry, say again. I was talking while you were talking.
Oh no, I'm curious to see just how far this project is going to be in the next 10 years, if it sticks to just how fast it's progressed.
If it goes fast enough and he starts putting these into space and bringing them back, like he can do the Falcon 9s, like those, if he can do it on that scale with these, we'll see manned missions before too long, probably within 5 years. That's being conservative.
Well, I mean, technically we did have a manned mission. When we saved that team from the International Space Station.
Oh, well, yeah, but I'm saying manned missions with all SpaceX going up and coming back. You know,
Yeah.
especially with these, because right now you could do a manned mission with the Falcons. You know, they go up and come back all the time. Not a big deal. It's
I
just
see
a
what you're
matter of
saying.
these are another scale difference of mass and weight and fuel, and it's new calculations and everything, and that's really what they're after for it. But they're doing well. I'm excited too, Tate.
For
I'm
it.
really excited too.
So you
But
ready to go?
yeah, we captioned this, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay, just so everybody knows, because we got 1,000 subscribers, I had agreed to get a tattoo of something that's in our AI image dump, you know, in the Discord. So if you're interested in the Discord and you want to submit some AI images that potentially I might get a tattoo for, I'm going to get one in January. So we have some time. You can submit them and I'll get one. I'm going to pick for me though. I got to wear it.
I'm gonna think of something good.
You know, so then, but here we have something very, very wholesome.
Is that the little girl from Ice Age?
I don't know. It kind of just looks like, you know, a generic Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks. You know, like if Lilo and Stitch was 3D, it's kind of what she's got. She's got that going on. Linens and sandals.
Now we gotta. Now's the time to think. You gotta give me a second on this one.
We need some captions, friends. In the chat, give us some captions. We got 10 people watching. Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Sound off in chat for the 10 people. Come on, you 10 people. Sound off. I want to hear you. See you. Read it. I want to read it.
That's an old school tricycle. I'm gonna go off of that one.
Old school tricycle. Yeah. Don't worry. Fluffy says, don't worry, Becky. These drugs aren't that strong.
Have you ever seen those? Like, I forget what. I think they're in They're Oklahoma. There's a riverbed, and there's a fossilized human footprint, and then on top of it, there's a dinosaur footprint fossilized on top of like with one each other.
Read through the chat.
Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Everybody walk the dinosaur. Everybody the dinosaur. Yeah, maybe walk the dinosaur. I like mine. The land before crime.
Mm.
A much more innocent time. Pets before wolves were tamed.
Sharp. Run, it's Sharp Tooth. Let's see. Yeah, that's the two that I got.
Man. Middle of the week, I'm usually getting into the bed by now, watching X-Files.
Yeah, no, I've been going to bed by like 8 o'clock in the past like couple weeks, other than when we do the show.
Oh, Aaron did our producer dirty. The two types of 1911 enthusiasts: dinosaurs and the gullible.
I like that one.
Shots fired.
Aaron has my vote.
Can I pet that dino? Can I pet that dino?
Wait. The Sunbiker would think twice before shocking that dog.
Oh. Oh, Rick. Sarah's trans uncle no one talks about. Come on. We're trying to be wholesome on this one. I'm gonna kick you out of the chat. That was cold.
There's Ice Age cold.
Timu Ice Age 4.
So which one do you like? I like Aaron's the most.
Making fun.
Well, that's because it's Brian, but it was just funny.
We noticed there, Rick. We noticed.
Rick woke up on the wrong side of the bedrock today.
Oh, let's pull that image back up real quick. Let's make us small. We need a caption.
The picture's too wholesome. It's hard. Yeah, I go with Vash on that one. It's too wholesome. It's cute though.
I'm back. I said this is the land before crime. They look so happy. Like, it just reminds me of my childhood. You know, the only thing we had to fear was Longtooth and staying up too late and accidentally catching a glimpse of the Crypt Keeper.
That or watching when Atreyu lost his horse in the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah. Yabba Dabba Timo.
I like that one. So which where do you got your money on?
When the Flintstones gummies finally hit. All right. It's not psychedelic enough. Daddy, can I have a dinosaur? No. Then can I have a boyfriend? You can have a dinosaur.
Florida Man meet Jurassic Juvenile.
How your friends feel about you when you hang out with your parents?
Trevor, stop bringing these feral humans home. Now they're getting good.
Come on, we got to stir them up in here. You guys, we got to stir them up.
All right, let's call it. What do you got? Good now.
I'm gonna read down through them. I'm gonna go up here. Let's see here. There's Psycho Gamer says, "Dang, that's an old school tricycle." Fluffy Hobo says, "Don't worry, Becky. These drugs aren't that strong." Tay with the tricycles before the wheel was invented. I said the land before crime. Hardy Harmonic says, "Open the door, get on that floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur." I like that. It's got a groove to it. Rick says, "I got one. Just wait." Oh wait, that's not it. My bad. pets before wolves were tamed. 2 types of 1911 enthusiasts: the dinosaurs and the gullible. I think if we pick that one, just label it the 2 types of 1911 enthusiasts. Old people and those that don't know any better. It just kind of speaks for itself. We don't even have to label it. Just 1911 enthusiasts. We could just go on, pet that dog.
Can I pet that?
Fluffy Hobos was a new contender to the bear versus man in the woods argument. Psycho Gamer. Wait. Hassan Piker would think twice before shocking that dog.
Mhm.
Pixar outsourcing for Ice Age 4. Rick's Sarah's trans uncle that no one talks about. Timu on Timu Ice Age 4. Okay, there was another team. Gotta pet that dino.
I think the delay is a little bit longer today right now.
Probably. Sarah shows up to the Ice Age protest with her horns out. When the Flintstones gummies finally hit.
Triceratops, try anything once. Oh my god. We're gonna need a bigger wood chipper.
I like a Yabba Dabba Do time, but there's not enough Flintstone in there. She needed protection when Epstein was visiting Flintstones. How a dinosaur got put on the sex offender list? Hey, that's wrong. That's no. Triceratops try anything once? I'm working on a big wood chipper. That's a Jaws reference and a other reference. I would like to. No Jurassic Park references in here. None. Come on, you guys got to do better than that.
I haven't seen Jurassic Park in years.
We need
I actually might put it on tonight.
we need a mediator on this. We need a third party.
Come on, Brian.
Okay, first of all, I'm not going to endorse that 1911 comment.
I might.
So that one is automatically disqualified. Sorry, Aaron. Honestly, I like the one about the gummies, but yeah, from Psycho Gamer, when the Flintstones got damn chat jump before, when the Flintstone gummies finally hit from Psycho Gamer, that's my pick.
I'll go with that. I like that one.
Oh, I missed this one. Aaron said Florida Man meet Jurassic Juvenile.
That's a good one too, but I'll stick by Psycho Gamer.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. What do you think, Scrap?
All right. I'm
Great.
voted out. I'm voted off of the Jurassic Park Island on that one. We're gonna go with when them Flintstone gummies finally hit.
Sweet.
Congrats to Psycho.
Psycho. Yeah, I wish we could have talked about stuff other than people dying today. It's kind of like, meh. But sometimes it's just how the show works. It's just what's happening and stuff like that. But it's world news. You're either gonna have some good stuff happening around, like with Gaza and like the peace treaty, or like with Charlie. I know we didn't report about it. Charlie getting the national the Medal of Freedom. But then we get other stuff like this. But this other stuff, I don't think a lot of people would have even seen if we didn't get to talk about it. So I think that's a win. If we're able to bring that out. So
I just got the best one. I think I just had a winner. No, we're gonna stick with the winner on this, but I just thought of it. Homeschool kids when they want to see Jurassic Park in the theater. Mom, we've got Jurassic Park at home. Jurassic Park at home.
needs a little help. Needs a little help. All right, let's blow this popsicle stand because I gotta get some bed. I gotta wake up at like 5 a.m.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this evening for another edition of Sunset Rants. My name is Skrappjaw. Everywhere I am the humane comment section this evening, and thank you, Tay, our host this evening, for taking the time to read the news that nobody's talking about. What do you guys say?
No, yeah, thanks for joining in today, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on board. Whenever we can. It's such Steve's not able to be a part of it right now, but that happens. If you like what we do, go up, check out our website right up there. Bring you straight to a website. It's nice. It has a very Miami Vice kind of vibe to it. You can see our different channels. You can see Scrap shows, all the stuff that he does. Super interesting stuff. Great discussions. You guys would definitely love it if you haven't checked it out yet. You can check out all our stuff that we have as well as far as joining our Discords. You can find me on X at AP2Tay. X, what's your handle? Scrap, what's your handle?
Everywhere. Skrappjaw everywhere.
Skrappjaw everywhere. Perfect.
Catch me outside.
Catch you outside. Hunting some deer. Oh, yeah. D'Angelo passed away today. That was sad. I just saw that in the chat. But yeah, until then, I don't know if you're going to be on the Thursday show, but if you are, perfect. We'll see you then. But I will see you guys on Thursday's episode. Thank you for being here. We love to talk to you. We love for you guys to interact with us. It's always a blast. Be safe till then, and have a great and safe night. Much love.
Deuces.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.